provided on the Gravy Gang Guild podcast or any external branch related to this podcast, including Discord and social media platforms, is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing herein should be construed to be financial, legal, or tax advice or any advice for that matter. The content of this podcast is solely the opinions of the show hosts, who are not licensed financial advisors or anything of great importance, and does not reflect the opinions of our sponsors, who know not what may come from our mouths at any moment. Conduct your own due diligence and consult your financial advisor.
And now it's time for Gravy Gang Guild Live, the show that really gets your gravy juices flowing, now extra meaty, with your hosts, Mystical Oaks, Gala the Kid, Gala the Gal, and me, Crypto Euclid. So sit back, crack open a can of our homemade gravy, and enjoy the show.
What's going on, everyone?
Hey.
Today we have Fomoby, the CT OG, and our normal host. I'll say Euclid because I'll be Euclid today, and Oaks.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, Fomoby?
Sorry about that. I was chugging some gravy. Not much, man. Just living the dream. Glad to get a chance to get on here and chat with y'all.
Yeah, well, we've been speaking about having you on for a while now, so it's good to actually have you on.
For sure.
Because I think we had most of your buddies on because Zod, and I always fuck up the other guy's name. What was his name again? The one that we had before Zod?
Like right clickable?
Yeah, right clickable. Because I just call him clickable, but I always forget that it's right clickable.
Draws.
Yeah, draws. And then you just call him draws, so then it really confuses me. Yeah. So since you spoke about gravy straight off the bat, what's your favourite gravy, Moby?
I'm a fan of white. Well, I like all gravy, but my great grandmother, used to make a chocolate gravy, biscuits and chocolate gravy breakfast. So that is my favorite.
So
yeah, you do the chocolate gravy.
So with a chocolate gravy, does that have like animal drippings in it at all, or is it just something completely different?
You know, I don't know. My great grandmother was a child of the Great Depression and from the South, so there's a good chance of some maybe some scat in there, but
some what?
I enjoyed it either way.
Oh, that's fair enough, man. I think like the most popular one we've had so far is the white gravy, though.
Yeah, sausage gravy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with any gravy.
Yeah, well, the one that gets me is like chicken gravy on chicken. Like, it's just too much.
Chicken gravy?
Chicken gravy on chicken. Or some people put the chicken gravy on turkey.
I think a sophisticated palate might enjoy all types of gravy.
Yeah.
I don't know the scat. Your scat must be different from my scat because my scat is like animal shit. So I'm confused.
Some flour in it, the white gravy, shit on the shingle. That, yeah.
Okay, you're talking about sausage, right?
Correct. Yes. Not fecal matter, please. No fecal matter.
That's all right, man. You're having translation issues, I'm guessing, from the part of the country you're from compared to the city folk like Oaks.
Get out.
So we've got what is it, Miggy Forksy in the chat, and okay. Raider. Have you got the chat window up, Oaks?
No, actually, I don't. Do you want me to?
Oh, it's up to you. So, how long have you been in CT for Moby?
What's that?
How long have you been in CT for?
I would say late 2017. I really got involved with what I found was crypto Twitter. Had been on Twitter since 2012, and maybe tweeted about Bitcoin a few times, but not really involved in this particular community until late 2017.
Yeah. So would that be your favorite crypto, or are you more into the altcoins now?
Oh, I like them all as long as they make me money. And do something, as long as they do something cool and make they're profitable, then they're good, right?
Yeah. Well, that's key, isn't it? So what, like, out of the cryptos though, what ones don't you like? Like, is XRP on your list of non-likable crypto?
Oh yes, we could talk about that. Not a fan of some coins for sure, but probably lean more towards the idealistic use cases, the things that are kind of in line with freedom and people's personal rights. So um, spent a lot of time early on getting to know the Satoshi emails and studying the kind of I guess the idealistic approach to all of this, and that's really what struck a chord with me, and I think has kept me around and involved in the space. You know, the money's great when it's there, but the idea, I think, is where the value is. So
Yeah. So what do you think of like the exchanges and everything else having pressure from government to like stop privacy coins like Monero and all that sort of stuff?
yeah, that's some of that. Obviously, not a big fan of that sort of regulation, but um, also kind of understand the situation we're in and the need for some middle ground, right? So it's not too crazy within the ecosystem, but it's it's good to have rules, but at the same time, I'm not a big fan of these authoritative bodies just making them up on a whim. You know, you never know what's inside their head or their motive, but you can kind of infer those things, and some of that doesn't look really good. But just take it in stride and keep doing what we're doing, and I think the good wins out in the end, right? So
Yeah. Well, it's a shame to see what
Hopefully.
happened with like Luna and stuff like that as well. Like, I know that's not a privacy token, but like everyone's still discussing if it's like a massive rug pull from the founder, or like if it was some sort of hit against them, or you know what I mean? Like but to see what it's done to the markets is like unbelievable to me, being a stable coin. Like, I just don't understand the need for a stable coin pegged to the USD or any other crypto.
yeah, that's a uh, pretty immense rabbit hole to go down. That the longer that we stay pegged to a fiat currency, the less freedom from those fiat systems that crypto has, right? But and in regards to the Luna thing, there's all kinds of speculation, but what's pretty obvious is that it's bad, right? Not good for um, the ecosystem, not good for its participants, and not gonna probably attract the kind of positive attention that we want from not only regulators but from people that may or may not be considering getting involved in crypto. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I had myself muted, man. Sorry about that. I didn't reply straight away. So how did you end up meeting Euclid and Oaks?
Yeah, how?
what was that?
I said, how did you end up meeting Euclid and Oaks?
Through CT, I think my first real connection with them came through Zod. So I don't remember exactly how, but I know that he
How dare
approached
you?
me about doing a podcast, and the rest is history, right? We became pretty good friends in doing that podcast around the corn, and have been able to keep in touch here and there throughout the years, and maybe not as much as we'd all like to, but some understanding goes into that, right? Everybody's got their own thing, and they're busy, families, and I'm busy myself. So, but definitely look back on that as a big positive in my time within crypto was my time with the Around the Corn cast and the people that were involved in that community as well.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
We had a lot of fun. As chaotic as that show was, it was a lot of fun. So good memories. All positive memories coming from that.
Yeah, it's like, you know, seven people, and that's a lot. But, and then you did a little show, and you actually introduced me to Crypto Indio. So like full in with Fomoby. That was the thing.
That's right. Yeah, I did a couple episodes of that. That was short lived, but again, enjoyed doing that. Trying to find what I'm passionate about has taken years within this arena, but I think people probably is where I spend a lot of my time getting to know different people and maintaining the relationships. That's probably the most valuable asset you can have within this little ecosystem. So
Yeah. A community guy.
I like my friends.
And your family.
So
you were going to teach me. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you keep going.
I was going to have Fomoby teach me how to outfox a fox.
Yeah. I don't know that I have any tips for you there. If he's coming out during the day, I would advise, as I said, to live trap him and have him rehomed somewhere by the local fish and wildlife. But if he's coming out at night, some of those more timid foxes you can typically scare off with light or sound. So like a light in your chicken coop and maybe a little CD spinning under it or a wind chime, that sort of thing can sometimes thwart them. But
Works.
during the day is a whole different ball game.
Oh, so much fun.
You might have to
Thank
get
you,
like
Farm.
a sensor, like what do they call them? Like a solar sensor light, so it just flicks on.
It's not. Well, they're in a thing at night, so they're kind of safe unless he gets into that, which is possible. But it just, came out during the day and snatched some. So,
what's it made out of? Like, is it chicken wire or?
well, it's wood, and then there's some chicken wire. Yeah.
Is the chicken wire on the bottom, or where is it? Or is it
It's
over?
like where the windows.
Oh, okay. Well,
kind of would be, yeah.
Because they can just, like, I don't know, like we ended up having problems with foxes here, but maybe they're a bit more creative, but they'd just dig straight under the side and then get into the coop and eat them all.
Well, they're not in the coop during the day. They're like free range. So they're just wandering around in the yard. So the fox just came up and got a little dinner.
Yeah.
So, but
that's not helpful.
The previous owners didn't tell me anything about foxes or, oh wow, there's hold on, a siren. Maybe let me mute while you guys talk.
Yeah, so are you working on any projects at the moment, Moby?
Yeah, so big portion of my time right now is boring protocol. We started that actually last May. We launched this project. It's a decentralized VPN that we're building on Solana. It's been an interesting ride, and I'm really excited about the future for it. We've done pretty well so far. Got some good backing from some pretty big names within crypto, and network is live in a closed beta right now. So
so how does a decentralized VPN work, man?
So in a typical VPN, you have a company, say NordVPN or ExpressVPN, and they operate servers in different regions of the world. And you as a user would log in and select which kind of region you want to connect to the internet out of, and that allows you to kind of, maybe bypass certain geopolitical restrictions that the country might, your home country might have.
Yeah.
Um, and typically you would input some credit card information and pay for a subscription to use these centralized VPNs. And as a centralized VPN, we built a hardware device and put a software on it to run our, to allow people to connect to this network. So they buy this hardware device and they become essentially an exit point in this vast array of distributed servers, and their particular node in that network, and the users pay with our BOP token, and when they do that, that token goes to the operator, so of the node. So the people that are purchasing this hardware stand to profit in having that connected to the network and to the internet, and that's it in a very condensed version.
So with the node though, like what you're saying that you can buy like a node for the VPN, is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So we last September we to test all of this and to prove the concept, we sold 500 of these nodes, these hardware devices, and a couple months ago just started distributing those all around the world. I mean, I want to say that we're in 20 something countries now.
Yeah.
And so that closed beta is open to those people that purchase the hardware. They're able to use the VPN from a consumer perspective, but at the same time they support the network in that infrastructure of these exit points. So we are trying to rapidly expand in the second half of this year. We are we're offering another limited run of those hardware devices, and looking to move towards like a software solution to kind of reduce some of our dependence on the supply chain, and kind of reduce the cost to the end user, right? So shipping around the world has its challenges. So we're trying to move to software so that anybody anywhere can download this this program and spin up a node and begin participating in the network.
So how much is the price going to be for the next batch of nodes, or you can't actually say that yet?
No, actually, the sale is live now. We've had it on, I want to say, for a month. Done pretty well selling those. But the price point for the node itself is $400.
Yep. And that's for like that. That's for the actual node itself, and then that covers, like, it doesn't have any sort of like cutoff period. Like it's not a license for any given amount of time. It's just as long as you want to keep it.
Yeah, correct. And what we're looking at is, since these people are buying this actual hardware device, and we want to move towards software download, how do we scale the network properly, and provide that software license for however long the person wants to participate in the network. So looking at NFTs as a way of doing that. So we distribute an NFT to all the people that bought this hardware device, and they would stake that to their node, and that's kind of their software license, their access pass to be able to run the node, and then we can move towards the software solution. Anybody can download the image and spin up a node, but they would have to go and purchase an NFT, right? So that way we can kind of control the supply of nodes out there. We've kind of watched other similar infrastructure, decentralized infrastructure projects, and seen some of their pains with too many nodes coming online, and because you're flooding the market with all of these different operators, everybody's profitability goes down. So we're going to try and curb that with this NFT. We'll only allow so many NFTs on the market at a time to kind of match up with the consumer, the customer, the user side demand.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, it sounds like you're pretty clued in with it all anyway, man. Like, you ask some people that are involved in projects and they don't know really anything about it. So at least you understand the technicals of it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how this came about. I served in the United States Navy. I worked on encrypted communications equipment for the FA-18 platform, and never really thought about that as something that might be applicable to finding my place or my passion within crypto. But it has helped a lot in understanding this network, and my understanding of the hardware systems that we used on those jets, and how that kind of integrates into this too. It's been really good to have that knowledge in my back pocket for this, and I've learned a lot along the way. Don't get me wrong, but having that little bit of understanding of what it was that we were doing beforehand was really good. And just the overall idea of a decentralized VPN, it's way more secure and actually private compared to these VPNs that log people's traffic, and may or may not provide that to authoritative bodies, and you're going and putting your personal credit card information and name and all that in and giving that to them. So in order for you to maintain true privacy, just to connect with a crypto wallet, it's really a lot better route to go.
Yeah, so when you sell a node and everything, like I'm guessing that's from like some sort of web page or whatever. Do you use burn the address after you send out the item? Like, what do you do with the data that you store?
So we have several different fulfillment centers, and yes, we are. That's one of the issues that we're trying to tackle with the software download. Right, we don't want people's personal information, and where the hardware is really good for us to raise funds outside of venture capital. It's got a lot of downside to it, right? We get people's name and their address to be able to ship this, and that's not something that we want long term. And then just shipping right now in the current environment is not good. So we want to get away from that, and I'm hoping quarter 3 or 4 will be fully moved to the software side of things, which we can still raise money through the NFT software license sales, but we are kind of we're making projections really that we don't have any. There's nothing ever been done quite like this for us to analyze or look at any sort of metrics and see best practices for us as a business.
Yeah. Oh, it seems like a pretty good project, man. I wouldn't mind buying one myself, to be honest, after listening to you talk for a bit.
He's got you sold on a node.
Would love to have you part of the network. Anybody that kind of follows that ethos, the ideas of privacy online, and understands the issues with some of these big tech companies harvesting people's data, it's alarming. So
yeah,
that's the main goal, is that we educate people on the downsides of that, and provide them a tool to reduce such. So
Yeah, well, I think like being someone that's like served in the military like yourself, like I think it's like a big overstep of all governments, man. Like they sort of like jumped on the coattails of like terrorism and stuff like that. But what a lot of people don't understand is like they store all your metadata now and then they sell it all around the world. You know, like that's a massive problem.
yeah, I mean the problems that we're aware of now are big, and they certainly there's people working on the solutions, but it's down the road. I think is important to think about too. What's the future going to look like as far as some of this malicious activity? How can we kind of set ourselves up to be ready to combat that sort of thing? And that's been really one of the cool things about this team is they're very forward thinking, and everything from IP traces on a wallet address is concerning. So we're looking at solutions for that sort of stuff too. So
That's cool. So what do you reckon about all this sort of stuff, folks? Like, are you a VPN girl or?
Yeah, no, not at all. No, not like another alarm went off here. So my mind is just going like, what the hell is going on in this place that I just moved that the alarms are going off?
Yeah, well, there's like less than 1,000 people and you've had 2 sirens go off as far as I can tell.
Oaks is at ground zero right now. We need evac immediately.
I'm like, what is going on? It's not a normal siren. It's not like a fire truck or something like that. It's like a town siren like going off like super loud.
Got an incoming air raid or something.
It's probably like the community barbecue like every Thursday night or something. I have no idea. I don't know. So
Yeah, someone
kind
just
of
made a big fire and it's getting out of hand or something.
I don't think it's like a fire alarm. It's like where the whole town gets together and just starts walking down the street, doing their normal thing that I had no idea about before I moved here, something like that. Right out of like
It's the purge.
right out of M. Night Shyamalan or something. No idea.
So I've had a
But
couple.
Gigi was concerned about the fox, and I just want to let her know that I am planning on trapping it and releasing it, so the fox will be okay. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen it again, so I'm just hoping someone else maybe killed or trapped or released it. To be honest.
Well, hopefully it doesn't
But
come back.
For Moby, you said that I can't release it. Like why? Like why couldn't I release the thing? Would it just like attack me and eat my face or throat like a raccoon?
Doubtful. You certainly could, but
Okay.
somebody like Parks and Wildlife is going to know a good location to take it where
Okay.
it won't be messing with people, and people won't be messing with it, right? So
Right. Okay. So just like taking it to the woods is like a no-no or something.
the foxes are pretty smart. I don't know how far away you're planning on taking it, but I would think it would probably just come back.
However far I need to take it, like what would I need to take it like 60 miles? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I watched Homeward Bound. Even
Oh my
domestic
god.
can find their way home. I would think a fox probably could also, but I don't know. I don't know that kind of information.
Okay. Well. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, a few people in the chat maybe are pretty interested in the VPN. You don't mind dropping the information in the Gab after the podcast?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'll put some links in there. Really appreciate that interest. And we have a Discord too. If you find your way there, myself and the team are pretty active in there. And then obviously I'm on the Twitter pretty often too. So happy to strike up conversation with y'all in whatever forum. So
Yeah, that's cool, man. So how many people do you have in the Discord that you have?
I want to say last time I checked, it was a little over 3,500.
Yeah, that's a decent size.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done pretty good. with promoting. I would say, obviously, a long ways to go, but have a pretty solid and excited community there in Discord, and then I think we have 50,000 followers on Twitter, and have several Telegram channels. Our shout out to our Turkish friends. We have a Turkey nationals have set up a boring Telegram, and they're
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
a really big supporter.
So what's your opinion, man, on you've been in crypto for a while now. What's your opinion on the evolution of cryptocurrency into NFTs?
I think it's really cool. I'm a little bit of an art fan, and then I have friends that do the art. Right Clickable, you guys know him, and it's cool to see just the different adaptations. Being
Yeah, I think you might have cut out a little bit there. When we spoke to Right Clickable, he ended up saying that you're essentially the founder of the Scoogie because you're the one who put him onto Solana.
Right. He blamed you, I believe.
that was all just an elaborate ruse to get him back on Twitter. So it worked out, and
It worked.
The Scoogie community, shout out to them. That's a really badass bunch of folks, and Scoogies are a lot of fun. Kind of, I feel like they are a good mixture of the kind of OG just art PFP NFT, and then they're building out some utility with that with the Twitter battle and a couple other things too. So but to see Right Clickable being successful in that, and going on to do other things, it's really cool because kind of had a bad taste in his mouth from some of the earlier projects, which I don't know if he shared or wants me to share about that, but I feel like he kind of got burned on that deal, and for him to give it a second chance, and for that second chance to be successful, I think is really, really cool. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta run your own shit.
You gotta what?
I said you gotta run your own shit,
right.
Because
he said he's gone on to do other things. Like what else is he into right now?
So he's doing the Memphis Lions.
Oh yeah, the Memphis Lions. I saw he's doing that with Zod, right?
Yeah, Zod's a big part of that, and then some of the other Scoogie community members have gotten involved in that. It's really cool. He's teamed up with professional football, we call it soccer player, Memphis to pay. Some of the brands that this guy represents have gotten involved in this, and they're building an entire metaverse out of it. It's kind of mind blowing how much they've done in a very short time to build that project, and excited to see that come through for him, and trying to be there to support that is certainly exciting.
Joel's doing the art for that?
Yes, he did the art for it, and then
oh, cool.
Kind of I want to say he had the idea for the overall scope of the project. I think one of the Scoogie community members have this connection to this athlete, and that kind of one thing led to another, and yeah.
Talked to him not that long ago, and he didn't mention anything about this, so that's crazy. It just all happened, or he was keeping it under wraps. Awesome.
Well, I mean, this has all happened really fast.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know he's not much to shill things, but
yeah,
I'll do it for him if that's
do it.
necessary. But it's definitely exciting. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm glad you shared because I had no idea that was him. I saw something, and I saw Zod talking about it. I knew Zod was in it, but Zod's like an art whore, so like he's in all the art things he can get his hands into. So I had no idea Jaws did the art for that. That's awesome. I'll go check it out. Thanks.
yeah, definitely do give it a look. Their website. I want to say if you go to their. I'm trying to think the quickest way to the little demo of the metaverse that they built. I think in their Discord's probably the best. But if you follow Memphis Lions Club on Twitter at Memphis Lions Club, you can find your way to their Discord, and they've got a link in there that to this website that gives you a really cool demo of that metaverse. And from what I understand, owning the NFT, you're going to be able to own a little space within that metaverse, and I'm working to get a couple brands involved, in that, and building out different little aspects of this village in the metaverse. So, and then some of those sponsors of that athlete are involved in that as well. I want to say Puma and Red Bull are some of the names that come to mind that are going to be having spaces within that metaverse. So
It's awesome. Like NFTs have evolved a lot since
Yeah, well,
yeah,
they've evolved a lot from our PFP anyway. So, I got another question for you. I don't know if Oaks is having issues with Discord now, because like every once in a while it sounds like he's cut out a little bit. So with the NFTs and all the rest of it, like, what makes you like the Solana more than like using the Ethereum? Is it because of the gas fees, or?
to be honest, I like them all. I would just prefer Solana because of the transaction fees. Yes, that and being involved in the community, just seeing the rapid growth of the developer network and the way that they've been able to overcome certain challenges with scaling and growth. I feel like it's here to stay. So, yeah.
And what's your, like, have you looked into Gala Games much at all, man? Like, have you kept up with any of it?
Gala games? No, I can't say that I have, but I certainly would give it a look. Um, Feel free to share with me what it is.
Yeah, well, that's essentially how we started the guild, man. It was mainly based around a joke like Gravy Gang Guild, a part of an MMO, because they're coming out with a game called Miranda's, which is essentially like, to me, it looks like, like a World of Warcraft, Minecraft-y sort of like theme game.
Yeah.
Like the art sort of, I don't know, the art sort of evolved from like Minecraft, and it's gone more into like Skyrim sort of graphics, in my opinion. But
Yeah, me too.
essentially, man, like the founder of Gala Games, he used to be the CEO of Zynga, which made like Farmville and Zynga Poker and all the rest of it. Like the what do you call them? Like, it's not an attachment; it's like a plugin for Facebook.
And like Words with Friends, I think that's what it's called too. I knew him from that.
Yeah, but
All of those are familiar names to me.
Yeah,
That's certainly interesting. I didn't know that. I'm definitely gonna have to give it a look now. Kind of a little bit of a gamer myself, so
yeah. Well, they've got like they're making partnerships, man, with other companies. So like you've got Spider Tanks, which is like a MOBA game, like League of Legends, but with tanks that look like spiders. And yeah, I think the devs for that is Game Media. But they've got a Walking Dead game coming out. They got like Legends Reborn, which is similar to Hearthstone. They got like a tower defense game. What's that called? Like Fortified, isn't it? Or they changed the name?
They have and they have Grit.
Grit. Grit's like a country western sort of game. Like it's like
a Fortnite country western style or something.
Yeah, or like a Red Dead Redemption.
That sounds right up my alley.
I know. It sounds just like you.
It's like AAA games, man, coming to the blockchain, so it's definitely worth looking out for it.
there's so much opportunity. I feel like that merger of NFT and in the gaming world. I personally play some of these third person shooter games, and have you buy skins or different items in game, and to be able to later take that stuff to a marketplace is really cool, rather than just buy it and that money's essentially gone. I think that that's a really cool element. um,
Yeah.
of relation between NFTs and games, and I think that's going to be huge. There's just, like I said, there's so much opportunity there. So
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying on one of the last podcasts, man. It's like a lot of the people in the gaming community, they're not really keen on like NFTs in games, because they already got like a misconception with like because of the microtransactions. But like that's the thing, man. Like if you're playing Fortnite, this is what I was saying to Wendy on the last podcast. Like if you buy $1,000 worth of skins and then you get sick of the game, or you get terminally ill or whatever, and you want to go give that to your brother or cousin or best friend, well, if they pick up a different IP address and that account's like that IP's using that account, they can literally just ban it, and then you lose all your in-game assets.
yeah, I've seen that happen. Personally, I play PUBG Mobile and have for years, and actually Boring has a professional PUBG Mobile team, and I've seen that happen. People spend ungodly amounts of money on in-game items, and then lose access to it, and that's really sad to see, especially when maybe some of the reasons aren't really justifiable. But for people to be able to take control of those assets, and do as they wish with them, that's really important. I think that falls right in line with the crypto and being your own bank, to be able to actually own these items is really cool. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, a couple of people in the chat, they've wanted me to tell you they've got one called Town Crush as well, which is like a Candy Crush sort of game for the mobile.
Yeah.
And then they've also got The Last Expedition, which I don't really know too much about. I think it's like a first-person shooter.
I don't know anything about that either.
Yeah, well, I think they sort of like spoke about it a little bit, and then I just sort of haven't really heard nothing else about it.
Yeah.
that's another big part of Boring, being a VPN. You've seen certain countries come out with restrictions as far as certain age groups not being able to play video games except for certain hours or so many hours during the day, and VPN kind of allows these people to bypass that regulation, right? So
Right.
that's kind of our reasoning for having a professional esports team. That's a big market for us in Asia and some other places in the world, but we see that as a problem, right? Why should a government be able to tell you, how you're going to spend your time, your leisure time? So
Yeah, well, they're having that problem in China now. Like they just pretty much, I think they've regulated like how many hours a day that you're allowed to play games, and then they've obviously got that big firewall that they use to control the data. And we've got a couple of people that are in the guild that are from China, and they've got to use a VPN, but it's hard to play the games because it's so unstable. You know what I mean?
yeah,
How many hours should you play video games a day? I mean,
As
what is
many
the
as you can.
normal amount? What?
I said as many
What'd
as you
say?
can.
Could you imagine someone trying to regulate even waves daily games? He might die. Fomoby.
gonna have to revert back to the board games, I think.
Right.
I'm gonna
Mandatory board games.
stuck playing Monopoly or whatever.
No, not Monopoly. Anything but that.
Well, you only get a half an hour to play Monopoly. The rest of the time you have to play backgammon. So
I think I'd rather play backgammon than Monopoly.
Well, at least the backgammon you can play at the casino, so it's like a semi, what would you call that,
Yeah.
valuable skill?
Right. There's no Monopoly at the casino.
Yeah. Well, when you play Monopoly, you just understand how Bill Gates works better, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really help you, though.
That's true. What's your favorite board game, Fomoby?
I'll start with what I don't like. I don't like checkers or Sorry, because I used to play that a lot with my mother growing up, and she never let me win. So I hate those. I despise them. And I do like Monopoly, but I would play that one with my dad, and every time he'd start to lose, he'd get a headache or something. So I think probably favorite is going to be Clue. That's a fun
I
fun
love
game
Clue.
for me.
I want to say that your dad probably got a headache from Monopoly because it's Monopoly and that will give you a headache. But I love Clue. That's cool. GTK,
Yeah.
do you play board games there in Upside Down World?
Well, I'm not really a board game sort of person. Like, I don't mind some card games like poker and whatnot. Like, I've been teaching my son how to play chess. So
Yeah.
I've been sort of into that. But that's mainly just like getting enjoyment out of him learning different moves and being impressed that he can actually like outsmart me in certain situations, and he's only 7.
Right.
So rather he's really smart or I'm really dumb, or he just got lucky.
Yeah, why not both? I know that's different because that's like playing games with your child is like different than playing games with friends, I think.
Yeah, well, I know that some people like playing games with their friends and stuff, but I don't think I've ever really been one of them. Like, I'm more from the generation of like going to your mate's place and playing like Mario Kart on the Nintendo, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's back. It wasn't Mario Kart for me, but it was Mario, like Super Mario Brothers, like the original one.
Yeah, well, I used to play
You
that
have to
stuff
die
as
and
well.
start all over again at the same spot.
I think as soon as consoles coming out, like playing board games, I think that's more of like a family game night sort of thing, you know what I mean? Because the old
Yeah,
man doesn't want to
mandatory.
play Mario Kart.
Yes, my kids know it as mandatory board game night, and they refer to it as the other board, not board like board games, like board like they're bored that night.
So you've got a couple of kids as well, don't you, Moby?
Yes, I have 2 daughters and a son. The joy of my life. They're awesome. In fact, I was just thinking the other day about how young they keep me. Um, just constantly proud of my kids.
Aw.
So what's something like, as a parent, what do you think's a valuable skill to pass down to your kids? Is it hunting? Is it learning like critical thinking, playing like chess, or like what do you think?
Oh, well, I think there's just balance is a healthy thing for kids to know. Yeah, all of that kind of knowledge that I value personally and pass on to them. I want them to take hold of and enjoy, whether it's um, hobbies that I like or life skills. It's just it's cool seeing them be interested in different things, right? Too. So growing up, I was always around horses, for instance, but never really kind of had the knack or the desire to be a avid horse rider. I liked my iron horses, my dirt bikes. So, but my oldest has she's competing in ranch rodeo and really enjoying that and supporting
Hey.
her in that school. And I'm learning things too that are exciting. So it's cool to kind of impress what I think they should learn, but then also to see them choose their own path and what they're learning and how they're applying that knowledge too. So.
So being
Yeah.
that you're a country guy, like what's the age that you teach kids like gun etiquette?
I don't really think that there's a particular age. I think if you've even got toy guns and they're picking them up and playing with them, as toddlers, and they can understand the concept of don't point that at anybody, then that's a good time to start, right? Why
Right.
why wait? So yeah.
So do you think like the earlier the better though? Like because like I don't. It's like a weird like perception that we have in Australia of Americans. Like there's just like a gun pretty much leaning up against each wall. You know what I mean? Like I'm guessing that you just put them away for safety, or there'd be kids shooting each other all the time. But it's like, do you think it's like one of those things where the younger they are, the better, or like I know you say there's no real age, but there would have to be some sort of like you'd at least want to do it before they were teenagers, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think that that's just dependent on the child, right? At what point are they capable of grasping the responsibility of you know gun safety and kind of understanding the importance of it, and when are they going to be able to understand the consequences of not heeding some of that education, right? So
Right.
like my 9-year-old, she already goes out with me deer hunting, and she knows what guns can do, and I guess through repetition throughout the years, has a full understanding of the importance of following those rules that we put forth. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Bender was saying. Like some kids are just like more mature than others. I mean, then some are just going to do exactly the opposite. So, I mean, I guess you just have to know your kid.
yeah, and I think the important thing of the guns is, well, I mean, all of it's important, but being able to take the kids out hunting and have them understand the gravity of the situation and the importance of that safety and how fragile life is, and having some respect for those things is is what we kind of try to stress on them. So
Yeah, that's cool. What did you do, Oaks? Did you like what age did you teach your kids? Was there a specific age, or you just done it by like based on their own personalities and what you thought they were ready for?
Yeah, it was, it's different. Like, I think my oldest, he was, he was like a 40-year-old when he was 2. So he was just more mature. Like he had his own computer. He just was like, so he had a gun younger. I think Kyan he's still just, grasping that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's not, there's like proper, they're all locked away. There's no way he can get to them or anything, but he knows basic gun safety and stuff, but he's not using a gun or anything right now. So, but my older one was already by now. So, I don't know. It's just each kid is different. I mean, he also has no interest in it like at all, but he does like the bow. So he like that's his thing. He has no interest in guns. And my oldest was interested. He wanted that Red Ryder BB gun like probably when he was 4. And I think he got it when he was like 6. So
So what is a BB gun? Is that just shoot like little like is it like little ball bearings sort of thing, isn't it?
yeah. Right, Fomoby? You would know more than me, but yeah, it's just like little BBs.
yep, just little essentially ball bearings, and some are air powered and some are spring powered. So yeah.
So what do you reckon of like compound bows and all that sort of stuff? Is that an interest of yours, maybe?
I am not personally a bow hunter, but again, my oldest has taken a liking to archery, so she does. She competes in archery tournaments, and she uses a compound bow. I think that that's an important skill. I wish that I, had more time to apply myself to it because of just kind of my interest in primitive hunting, and those skills is something that I like to see her taking part in that. So
Yeah,
I don't know if she'll end up hunting, but she's doing the competitive shooting, so that's exciting. And again, getting to learn things that I didn't as a kid because I had interests with my time elsewhere. So
Yeah, well, she sounds pretty fair-rounded, like as far as what you've said so far, into the horses and then the bows and all the rest of it.
Yeah, she's an amazing little girl. All of them are really amazing kids, and it's man, I was telling them the other day they got to slow down because it's flashing. Just the other day, you know, she was born, so trying to harness that time that seems to be flying by with them, and really cherishing it.
Yeah, they grow up so fast.
My wife's like I freak out, man. If when my son was younger, like they put this new I don't know what they call it, like a jungle gym sort of thing out of McDonald's that we've got locally, and it had
Right.
it's almost like 3 stories tall, man, and it
Right.
like it looks 3 stories, you know, but it's probably only like maybe 1.5 or something. But they had like this part right up the top where it's like rope. And I'm just thinking, fuck, like he's 3, he's going to fucking jam his leg in there, he's going to freak out, he's going to snap it. And my wife's like, he'll be fine, that's how he learns. Like, I'm the fucking warrior, man. Like, I worry about everything, like they're going to hurt themselves. I don't think I could deal with my kid on a horse. Like, I'd just be freaking out, even now when he's 7.
Oh yeah, I have that fear, that parental fear all the time. But then try to think about, you know, myself as a kid. My parents let me do some crazy stuff, and there's easy ways and hard ways to learn lessons, and sometimes you just kind of got to get out of the way and let the kid find out the hard way. So
yeah, well, now I just let her take him out to do the things, and then like for the first time, and then I'll go like on the second or third time, so I don't have a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, I do the same thing, but mine would climb to the top of that and then have a meltdown, and I would have to climb up and get him and climb down with one hand. It was a nightmare. And he would do it every time. He would just go straight and climb straight up it, but then not want to come down.
Yeah, well, mine would like park right in front of the rope before he climbed up and just stare at it, and I'm like, fuck, just don't do it, you know, yelling out to him, hey, come back down, buddy, come back down. And then he'd sort of like be halfway there, and he's just like looking around, and I'm just like, fucking hell, this kid, you know. And then I'd be like, the wife, like, get up there. Like, I'd be telling her, get up there, you know. Like, lucky she's small or she wouldn't be able to fit, but like there was no way I'd be getting up there.
When you take him out, you put him like in a bubble.
my middle one kind of puts that fear in me because she's just so wild. She will just jump off things, and my little adrenaline junkie. So we, you know, walk outside and find her jumping on the top of the truck. I'm like, how did you get up there? Number one, what are you doing?
Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy.
That's funny. On top of the truck. I love it.
Not give a shit. That kid is wild.
I feel like she's going to be like hard to contend with when she gets older, man. Like, you know, like most of the guys today, like, you know, it seems like they're like most males now becoming more feminine, all the rest of it. Like, your daughter sounds like she's going to be a little boss, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually funny because even before she was born, my oldest was calling her boss baby.
That's funny.
Constantly try to imagine her future, which she's starting kindergarten, I think. So we're our heads are spinning. You know, how soon is she going to get reprimanded at school, and is she going to get in any fights? She's the scrappy little one. So what you kind of worry about that. It's also a good thing because we know that she'll be able to stand up for herself in certain situations, and
yeah, that's cool, man. Sounds like he's doing a good job anyway. So, like, out of you and the wife, man, who's the one that stresses the most? Is it you or her?
Oh, I think that we go back and forth. We take turns. So both of us, you know, put our kids as a priority, and we really love them, and Some of the downside of that is we don't ever want to see anything negative happen to them. So that's just part of it, I think. So
Yeah.
So are they into the motorbikes and all that like yourself?
No, not necessarily motorcycles. We had my oldest riding a mini bike for a while, but she wasn't really that interested in it. We got her a 4-wheeler, and she likes that a lot better. And then the middle one, she's got a go-kart that she enjoys.
Oh, that's
and then
cool.
the 11-month-old has one of the little battery operated 4-wheelers that he already hot dogs on in the playroom. He can't even walk, and he's already climbing on this little 4-wheeler and riding it around, standing up on the seat and being crazy.
So what do you reckon's better to start them off with, man? Like a 4-wheeler or a 2-wheeler bike? Like, because I know you got to worry about the body roll for a 4-wheeler as well, like hitting corners too hard.
Yeah, I don't know. They all have their downsides, right? So I think it's up to them what they want to do. The motorbikes are cool. Got to kind of learn, I guess, on a bicycle first, that balance, unless you use training wheels. And yeah.
I sort of pause a little bit because I don't know if like Oaks is going to interject on anything, but I'll just keep talking then. You're very quiet today, Oaks.
I'm very what?
I said you're a little bit quiet today.
I mean, I'm absorbing. I'm absorbing. I'm watching the whole town gather outside with fire at the moment. Oh my God! Just as I said that, so, hold on.
Yeah, I'll just keep hitting you with questions, and maybe because like honestly, like I see you on Twitter, and like there's the three of yous, man, like yourself, Right Clickable, and Zod. Like I find you three to be some of the more interesting people on Twitter, and like yous are all so different, man. But it looks like yous all coming together like to help each other out, like good mates. You know what I mean? I haven't listened to the Around the Corn stuff, but after meeting most of you guys, I think I might have to go back through it all and then just binge listen to them all.
No.
Thank you for the kind words. You never know what somebody's gonna find interesting. There's the other side of that spectrum too. There's people that absolutely can't stand myself on Twitter. So appreciate you taking a liking to some of the content.
Well,
yeah, absolutely have a lot in common with the fellas, Zod and Yuki and Right Clickable and the rest that were on that show. We developed some really cool relationships, and it's been cool. It's been great to maintain them over the years, So that's something that I don't think that any of us will ever forget, is that camaraderie that we built pretty early on in doing shows. So
we should definitely do a show in the future, Oaks, if they're up to it, and have the three of them on, because I reckon that would be pretty cool.
It'd be fun. I mean, I'd love to have them all on. I'd love to have Chicken on and AI 8-Ball too. But yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, I think
you're in for a treat.
I think for me, man, like I delete more fucking posts. Like you guys will say something pretty like that I'm interested in, then I'll write something. I'll be like, nah, you sound like a fucking dickhead, so I just delete it. You know what I mean? Like I feel more comfortable in the spoken word than what I do in the writing something down. But I guess everyone's different.
That's interesting dynamic, because I feel like I am better at writing my thoughts out than I am orating them. So
yeah, well, I guess it's different for everyone. Then you got people that sort of in the middle, like Oaks, where she can talk on both formats. So I'm probably a little bit jealous in that regard, I think.
What should I clip that? Is that a compliment?
No, I'm gonna remember how we have a rule that we don't cut things? That's one thing I'm definitely gonna go back and cut it out.
Oh, you're gonna cut that out? You're gonna edit. Snip, gone.
And then if you ever put it on Twitter, I'm just going to report it. Like, she's using my likability in her Twitter.
Block and report. Right. Well, I'm hoping the community's bringing pies and not, something else. That is so. Where do you guys think is going on? Why did I move to some kind of like crazy?
Yeah, it's like
I'm hearing all.
It's like their
kinds of
cult
stuff
ritual.
going on out there.
You just caught their cult ritual. Like, they waited for you to settle in, waited for the house to go through. Like, you got it at a decent price, so that's probably the reason why.
I know. I haven't closed yet. They should wait. Should I just yell out the window and let them know that I'm closing on the 2nd? So if they could just wait till then.
Do you they don't have some sort of big owl statue or anything weird like that around the fire?
I mean, well, yeah. I didn't think that was odd. That seems normal, right?
As long as they're not toting a golden calf down the street with them, you should be okay.
Shit. I thought it was bronze, but it could be golden now that you mention it.
There's no blacked out van with like gold rims that says Bilderberg or anything on it?
No, the van is brown. It's fine.
Well, you might be all right then. You shouldn't be the sacrifice anyway.
Good. I'm not worried at all.
So, Gala, you seem kind of tapped into the maybe the how would I put this, the conspiracy theory world. Are you do you do some of that?
I just
do some of that.
Not really, man. I get obsessive over shit. So like I definitely know that. Like, I'm not a fan of government at all, like yourself, and I think that most of the world now is like full of big government, which I think is bad for everyone. And I just don't believe anything they say, man. So I go to the extreme of, like, I listen to what they say, and then I go essentially down the rabbit hole. And it's like anything else, man. Like, the most useless information's the stuff that I remember.
Yeah, well, just for the record, I do like government. In case anybody's listening.
Moby's like, let me correct you. Hold on. I love government.
Local governments are kind of cool. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's just important to have an open mind, right? So.
Yeah, well, I think for you guys, man, like you guys got a different taste after the mandates and all that sort of stuff. Like here, like they locked us down hard. Like in the place that I live, like we had the army patrolling the borders, you weren't allowed to leave the town, like all sorts of weird shit.
Yeah.
So we said government, so now you're cutting me out a bit. Do you want to repeat that, man?
I know. I was like, you got the tempo on. Fomoby, tell us what you think about the moon.
Do you know that it apparently vibrated when they landed on it?
Oh, yeah. The hollow moon theory.
Yeah.
It rung like a bell or something like that.
Yeah, you cut out of what you were saying before.
I'm more interested in some of the, like, I don't even know how to describe it. The conspiracy theories, like dinosaurs aren't real.
Yeah.
Oh, dinosaurs aren't real. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got the big conspiracy, man. You know, like, the only reason that they invented the dinosaur was to, like, disprove religion. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then, like, with carbon...
Yeah, that's it.
With the carbon dating and all the rest of it, like, it's not an accurate way of measuring something anyway. Because there's other factors that come into it. So.
A lot of things that kind of disprove that, like what is it, the London hammer that they found just here in Texas, actually, a hammer that was like entombed in rock that should be hundreds of millions of years old, but there's no history of people hundreds of millions of years ago, so it doesn't make sense, right? So there's I think it's just, like you said, important to keep an open mind and to explore this stuff, right? So never really accept one way or the other. Just as wishy-washy as that sounds, it's better off. You're better off keeping an open mind with it.
Yeah, well, it's like anything, man. Like if you look at a relationship that's burning down, you know, like you got, you know, your mate or whatever that's fucking thinks that the person that he's with's like a bitch and doesn't like her and all the rest of it, and then she thinks he's an asshole, like, but usually the story's somewhere in the middle. So, like, that's not all cases, but like you're always better off hearing both sides of the story before you throw stones. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. As fallible as we are, we kind of jump to conclusions, and that that usually bites us in the ass when we do that.
Yeah, and I'm not like super opposed to government either, man. I just don't want to be told what I have to do. So the more they fuck off out of my life, the better it is. Like, don't.
Absolutely, got to be able to have more than half an hour to play Monopoly. So
Yeah, like there's a reason why we're in crypto, man. You know, like I don't want to be told what assets I can buy. If I want to buy Bitcoin or a Tesla share or whatever, like I want that to be my choice. If I lose it all, well then fucking, oh well.
Yeah.
So, like I think most people in crypto, man, like I don't think, yeah, like the whole idea of crypto itself, like Bitcoin, all the rest of it is against fiat currency, which was created by government. And, you know, and if you look back at other currencies, like even if you look at the situation we're in now, like if we're not on the borderline of a Great Depression or like a massive recession, like I don't know when it's ever going to happen, because you can't just keep printing something that's backed by nothing. So what do you do with that information?
yeah, whether it's currency or any other sort of asset or ownership item. Throughout history, we've seen how that's that kind of is, well, to boil it down, is people taking power and abusing it, right, for their own gains.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, people complain that Bitcoin and everything's not backed by anything, but you know, it does have the scarcity factor. It does cost an X amount of money to be able to mine it. Like, there is different factors that go into the reason why Bitcoin's the price that it is. And it's also in relation to, you know, being able to have some sort of, like, hindsight into where we're going. Like, you've only got to look at history. I think it's like China, man, like, they pretty much change their currency, like, every 20 or 30 years because it just collapses. So, like, these are things that happen in the real world. And they're things that really can't be argued because they happen all the time. So how do you hedge against it?
Yeah, and I think again, being open-minded towards that and understanding balance of nature is really important too, right? So even Bitcoin is in its own way, kind of a democratic majority process, and that's been implemented and utilized by tons of governments, and it's failed in some ways, and it's succeeded in others. So I think for the future, shorter term, having kind of a multi boy, how do I even say this? Having crypto and fiat balance, checks and balances is good, right? While we work out all the kinks with crypto, still having something, stable, or not necessarily stable, but something that we're essentially more used to utilizing, and kind of deriving value from is important. And
Right.
it's a process, right, that it's going to take us from A to B. So
Yeah. Like a slow phasing out.
So I got another question for you. Maybe I just want to keep asking you questions. Like with the, like, you know, going back to the last bear market, like that didn't really follow traditional markets. But now I see, like, if the traditional market's down, well, then Bitcoin sort of like follows it. It used to be like if the market went down, then Bitcoin would go up, and that'd sort of be like vice versa sort of thing. Like, what do you think's happening now? Do you think there's too many people in traditional markets and big hedge funds and all the rest of it that are invested in the crypto, or do you think it's like the mentality of the actual general populace that are in crypto has changed?
I don't really see these institutional investors and stuff as a negative. I think maybe a market is in some senses a game, right? So where the last bear market behaved in a certain way, it may be more beneficial to the market participants now to change up the strategy to grow their wealth or whatever it may be. So it's there's a lot of psychology that goes into all of that, and you mentioned some of that, with retail, just responding to the traditional markets in a different way. So I think that's some of it, but hard to quantify exactly what is going on. The geopolitical realm, the situation with Russia and Ukraine gets a lot of attention. So I think that plays into people's minds as well. What they're reading and seeing on the news can certainly have some effects in that regard. So a lot of variables there. And my personal strategy is just to be liquid and kinetic myself, and be able to adapt and make changes in response to something like a market that adapts and makes changes. So kind of just gotta go with the ebb and flow, or
Just keep swimming is what you used to say.
just keep swimming. Yep.
That's right.
So are you gonna come out with some sort of fish-based NFT?
No, I don't think that I'll probably get involved in any of that. I got my hands full with what I've got going on, and I'm happy. And who's to say, But we'll see what the future holds. The oceans are a vast and beautiful resource, and I think that people need to take care of them, just like all the other ecosystems, right? So maybe I get involved in something to that end.
Nice. clean out the water from your dumps.
Got to clean the dumps up. Yep. What is that beach in Hawaii that seems to attract all the floating plastics and stuff? That's a concerning sort of thing. I had a friend that periodically goes there and helps pick some of that stuff up, and then they've got a recycling facility that they sort through these plastics and melt them down,
Nice.
use them. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with like all the masks that we've been wearing over the last 2 years. Like, what sort of pollution that's going to create.
That's just gross to think about, isn't it?
It is.
'Cause
I see them everywhere already. It's sad.
Yeah, and they like some of the autopsies and stuff they've done since like the mask mandates and all the rest of it. They've found like micro specks of like plastics on the lungs, like all sorts of stuff. So like it's one of those things that we don't really know until we do it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. The impact of it retroactively is going to be interesting to see what happens. Which I there's a book that I tell a lot of people to read that that talks about some of governmental policy and just different aspects of society, and breaking down some of the kind of maybe lesser understood impact of that in the future. It's called Freakonomics, and it's a really good book, and it kind of gives you a interesting perspective on things like that. What's going to happen 5 or 10 years down the road, because of these actions that we've taken in the last couple of years. It's it's interesting to think about for sure.
Yeah, well, it was interesting here, man, because like this is like sort of not on topic with what you're saying, but you had to wear a mask everywhere other than going to the bank.
Wait, you?
Yeah, like
Where?
like everyone, like you're not allowed to wear a mask in the bank because obviously, you know.
Right.
So,
So
like,
that's fine. That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, like if it's got to do with fiat currency and, you know, like the banks, well, then you got to take your mask off and can't wear a cap or anything else. But so they get your digital identity when you walk in, but everywhere else had to wear a mask.
Right.
Well, that's actually pretty easily explainable. The COVID virus is highly allergic to pure cash, so it wouldn't survive in a bank anyway.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong there, man. It just hates that color, you know. Like I was gonna choose a specific color, but I can't remember what your notes look like. I was gonna go with green. I think that's what yours are, but
Yeah. Green.
so are you
That's it.
still on like a? Do you still have like a paper currency, or is it plastic like ours?
Yours is plastic?
Yeah, ours are like a plastic coated sort of like shiny notes.
Oh, kind of like New Zealand's.
I want to say that ours has kind of like moved towards like a synthetic material that's not necessarily, wood paper or a pulp paper. It's like it's a synthetic based material, and it's funny because we talked about monopoly. The colors of the different values of bills has kind of emulated monopoly money. I saw a meme that shared that a while back. It's funny to that's the $100 bill is kind of like a certain hue or color, and it's the same as the 100 in the monopoly game.
Oh, really? Oh.
Nothing surprises me at this point. Well, one thing that you have coming, because like I was saying before we started the podcast, like I feel like Australia's a testing ground for most of the world because we're a small population. You know, with the like at the moment, yeah, some of our big food chains like do you don't have Woolworths there, do you?
No.
Oh, because Woolworths has turned around over like the last couple of weeks and said, "Oh, we're just not taking cash anymore, so it's just going to be tap and go."
Oh, right. Well, because of COVID?
No,
Just touching
because
it?
they could have done that through COVID, but like COVID, like we're in the endemic as far as most people are concerned now, like as far
Right.
as the government's concerned, and yeah, like here they're mainly talking monkeypox, and not
Oh.
accepting cash at all.
Huh.
So in Australia at the moment, like if you go do a cash purchase, which is over $10,000, you've actually got to they report it to the government. And I'm pretty sure now you're not even allowed to spend over $10,000 in cash. So if you want to go buy a car for $30,000 in cash, you're not allowed to.
What what, so like you just can't buy one?
Well, you could still pay like cash as in you're not getting a loan and use your like your credit card or like a card that's attached to your account, but you're not allowed to walk in there with physical cash over $10,000 and pay for your vehicle.
Okay. That's I mean, yeah.
So coming to America soon.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, we already kind of have that, right? You can't walk into the bank and request I think it's now $5,000 cash. You can't get $5,000 cash without it being reported. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still get that $5,000, you know.
Yeah.
Like here, I don't like. I'm pretty sure like this is going a fair whiles back now. I ended up selling a rental property and I had it in cash, and the bank was sort of pissing me off. Like they were just rude, and I wanted to transfer it to another account, and it turned out to it was like a week long for a transaction through the bank account, which didn't make sense because it's just digits on a screen, and
Right.
like the physical cash was like 3 days. So I had to get it in physical cash, but it turned into a big ordeal anyway because I had to do like an order and then have it shipped from a city to be able to come to where I live, like in an armoured vehicle, all the rest of it just to get cash.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. That's it's like weird stuff going. Yeah. So when I sold the house, it was like the money didn't go straight to me. It went to the Fed to I'm like, why is it going there and then coming to me? Like, why? So I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Thanks.
there's a lot of
Gotta
unknowns.
be able to track it and have that
Right.
control over it.
It needs to go there. I mean, why does it need to go there? As if they're like, I might not release it to you. I don't know. Let me just check shit out real fast. So I don't know.
Well, what's the answer, Moby? What's got to change, or what are we got to do as civilians to like get some of our rights back? Do we just have to vote them out?
Pitchforks.
Like, do we vote in an independent or something? Like, have an independent American government? Can that even happen?
That would never happen.
Yeah, well,
It's been attempted. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to it.
Do you think we just need to adapt and then go with the times of like what the general populace wants to do, or well, I guess that's what we have to do anyway. But yeah, I don't know.
Buy a decommissioned oil rig and build a sovereign society on it or something. If you don't like where society's heading, because I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of say in it, right? So
To become Waterworld.
kind of feel like it's already out of retribution when it comes to that. Outside of some sort of major catastrophe or something changing the landscape, I don't. Excuse me. I don't know that voting is going to get anything changed. I'd like that to be the case, but I just hard to be optimistic with that system itself. So
yeah, for sure. Well, if anyone wants to know if dinosaurs exist, I'm one of them. So there you go. You got proof. Because yeah, I'm not adapting well to like I don't care what anyone does. Like, if you want to, whatever you want to do in your personal life's good with me. Just don't tell me what I have to do. So I'm the dinosaur.
yeah, well, I mean, again, it comes down to balance, right? I fully agree with what you're saying as far as staying out of people's personal lives, but at the same time, there's the downside to that too. Saying anybody can do whatever they want is not really a good route to take. I think that we all have some responsibility towards others and making sure there's not victims. And
yeah, well, like, not to impose on others. Like, that's just a given, Like,
it would be cool to have
yeah, not everyone has the same set of morals or standards or as everyone else, so it isn't a given.
Yeah, like, try to be the best person you can. Don't fucking hurt young children. It's like all just common sense shit, in my opinion. Whatever you do behind closed doors with your partner or whoever you choose to be your partner, that's your business, But just don't, like, there's certain things, man, and it's probably just me. Like, I'm not really big on, like, public affection and all that sort of stuff. So, like, you'll never see me holding hands with someone or kissing someone publicly. Like, I just think there's a place and a time. And, like, if other people want to do that, that's fine. But at the same time, there's a time and a place. You know what I mean? Like, if it's in your car or something like that, that's fine. If it's at the front of the school when they're getting picked up, well, then that's not good, But
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, if you don't want your, child to see that or something, then you don't want someone out there just like doing it. It's just, it's about like having respect for other people. And I think that that's kind of lacking in, society today.
Yeah, well, people rather want to tell you what you can and can't do or how you have to think. And they want to put you in positions that make you feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, they want to tout that they don't want to be uncomfortable for not being able to do it. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where, like, sort of no one really wins because no one's comfortable.
Yeah. Right. As long as we're all uncomfortable, it's fine.
Yeah. So we'll probably wrap the show up in like 5-10 minutes. Is there anything that you wanted to tell us about that you're doing at all, maybe? Like anything else apart from the VPN and working in with your buddies with NFT projects?
No, nothing really special going on behind the scenes. Just just doing my thing, man. Just loving life and putting family first, and just loving others and trying to work on myself. Be kind and really learning, I guess, constant evolution of learning, right? So, but yeah, definitely excited for the future, even though the picture might look bleak at times. I think that I think at a local or in real life level, it's not so bad. So you just gotta keep on, just keep swimming, and hope for the best, and try to impress that on others, and things going to be okay. So
Yeah, I agree, man.
Love
That
it.
sounds like some good advice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just read a couple of things that are in the chat before we end the podcast. So GTG said, thanks for chatting, Moby. Has been great listening and looking forward to reading up on the VPN project. And well wishes to you, sir, and your fam. We've got Radar. He's pretty interested in the VPN project as well. So it'd be cool if you, when we jumped out, if you just dropped it in the Gab or whatever. That'd probably be the easiest for most of the people that are in our chat.
yeah, I really appreciate you guys for listening in, and thank you, Gala and Oaks, for having me on to be able to talk about that a little bit. It's something that I'm, like I said, I'm definitely very passionate about, and to be able to share it with you guys is important, and it's appreciated. So, what I'll do is I'll share a couple links there in the Gab channel, and then I can hang out for a little bit afterwards too, and hopefully answer some of the questions you guys might have. So
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Well, Fomoby, I want to support everything you guys do. So, I mean, as long as it's okay with GTK, whenever you guys, any one of you guys have something new, come on and tell us about it. And since Draws is so modest, you'll have to come on for him as well, or like GTK said, have all you guys on at one time. That would be a party.
That'd be a cool dynamic, I reckon.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
No, but it's been a real pleasure talking to you, man. Like, I'm actually, like, you only get one side of someone on Twitter, and unless if you're going to go down the rabbit hole of every Twitter account that you like with personalities that you find interesting or you like, it's like, it's good to be able to actually talk to you and get to know you a little bit. The other person that I've been trying to hassle to get on is Shitcoin Sherpa.
Oh, Sherpa. Love Sherpa.
Yeah. I keep mentioning it to him, so hopefully one day he's just like,
keep prodding him. I'll put in a good word for you. I don't know if he'll listen to me, but that's another golden personality from CT that we all love. So wish you the best
Sherpa in Nashville.
getting him involved. Yeah, I think it's really cool to get to chat with you finally, and to talk and hear your voice, and that's something I mentioned it earlier. That's the most important thing about anything that you do is the people involved, right, and all their different perspectives, and learning them, and learning how to approach things in different ways. So that's something that I value more than anything in crypto. Like I said, is people. If without the people involved, then there isn't any of this. So if you put that as a priority, I think good things are going to come to you.
Yeah.
Did you want to share someone that you did not like on CT?
Well, right now, actually, it is kind of right clickable. We did it's a love-hate relationship with me and him.
Right.
We did a show participation team, me, him, and Gianni Cryptic Crooks.
Oh, Casey.
Yeah, we did a show a while back in the last bear market, and Draws did not participate as Crooks and I did. I think I ate some raw eggs and ended up vomiting, and then
Oh my god.
let my wife pepper spray me live on stream. That was pretty awful. And then I think Crooks had to drink a gallon of soy milk in like an hour, and he was feeling the effects of that. But Dross did not participate in any of those festivities, and I feel like he kind of owes us one. So maybe when we all get on, we peer pressure him into doing something that's puts him in an uncomfortable situation.
Okay, I like that. I'm 100% down for that. Like, let's take some time and think about what that could be.
Yeah, definitely got to put some thought to that. Like, I wouldn't him, just getting out of his craft medic bed. I wouldn't consider that good enough. So
maybe have a salad.
Yeah, we'll force him to eat a salad or something.
Would be torture.
So pepper spray in the eyes, man, like that would be highly unpleasant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you're not self-sadistic individual, it's definitely not fun, and it lingers for a little while.
Does it take your breath away when it first hits your face, or?
No, yes, in some ways it does, because you don't want to breathe anymore because it burns so bad. But I got it point blank, and I got it right in the eyeball. So like the entire next day, I literally was like driving around with one eye barely open, because it felt like somebody was, had attached a piece of sandpaper to the inside of my eyelid. So.
Oh God.
Yeah,
that's painful.
Doesn't sound fun. So are you happy if we hit the outro, Oaks, and we'll have a chat with Moby in the chat for a few minutes?
I mean, that makes me very happy.
All right, cool. All right, man. It's been good talking to you anyway, and I'll end it now. And thanks for coming
Moby.
on. Yeah, thank you guys again for having me on, and for being who you are, for being friendly, and doing the right thing, because I get the sense, just even just talking to you, Gala, and Oaks, knowing you for a while, being good people. It's we need to, as a society, I feel like we need to value that sort of thing. So and hold each other accountable, and it's cool to see people just doing it on their own. So.
Yeah, well, I think I have the same, similar story to you, man. Like, I was just talking to Euclid and Oaks. Like, I think we were talking for like a year or something like that before we actually spoke in voice. And, like Euclid's like, oh, we should do a show, you know what I mean? So I think Euclid's actually like the one that brings us all together.
And then runs off.
Yeah, he's the catalyst, and then he goes AFK.
Awesome. Yep, and for the crowd listening too, don't ever be too quick to judge. Give everybody an opportunity, because you never know the friend that you might be making, maybe a lifelong one. So
yeah, that's exactly right. All right, that's perfect to end on. So I'll talk to you in a minute.
Adios.
Thanks for listening, guys.